gardening is something that has really helped me through some really difficult times. It's almost like a therapy for me. So I thought I'd just come out and give you some ideas about how to create little zones, or they call them garden rooms, and I'll just give you some ideas from my little garden. Now I'm sitting out here on the veranda. I have an area where I keep all my succulents. They say that it's a really good idea because you can create a climate. If you keep your plants of the same type sort of clustered together, it creates their own little climate, and they become much healthier and they tend to flourish a lot more. So I've got a few small pots here on my little ladder, but I don't use a lot of small pots because they do take a lot of water. Succulents are okay because they don't actually need a lot of water. So that is one plant that you can actually put in small pots, and they do quite well. Here I've managed, I'll just hop up here, I've put a few little ornaments and I've created a few little fairy gardens, but that's just a bit of a fun, whimsical space, and I just enjoy succulents because they're very easy to propagate and you can take the babies off and replant them. Now, moving over here, I've got a few pots on my stairs. Sometimes I just put in annuals because annuals are really fun and they have a lot of colour, and they just bring a little bit of an edge to the space by colour. So I change these around. Sometimes I have strawberries in this pot and sometimes I have pansies. I just threw the bird cage in. It's fun to put a few little garden ornaments into, and that's putting your own touch on it as well. I find the grasses are very good because they're very hardy. I live in a really frosty climate, and I find that the grasses are very resilient and they don't sort of die off. I'm a person who really loves things to be evergreen, so that's another thing when you are gardening, that if you really want things to look good all year round, you really look for the plants that are evergreen and are going to cope with your climate, whether it be tropical, whether you're in the mountains. Just sort of look out for those things on the label as well. Now moving over here, I've created a beautiful little sitting area. It's only small, but it's somewhere I love to come and have a cup of tea. My husband and I often sit here with the coffee. I've again planted a few succulents. I bought this one. It's really pretty. It's just a tin, and I just keep propagating. I keep replanting the babies, and I've also got a few down the back just to fill in a few of the gaps. But this is a space I love in summer. It's really cool. We get the shade, but it's just a simple little space that you can create at home too. And it's just a really cute little place to sit and enjoy your garden, because there's no point in having a beautiful garden if you're not going to enjoy it. Now, moving around, again, I use ladders a lot. I find these in little antique shops. You can pick these up, and I put my own little accessories and little touches. I live in a cottage, so it's very easy for me to actually put little things like tins I pick up and things like that. I've also got plants. If you come a bit closer here, I've got mint growing. I find mint something that I really love in the garden. It's very green, but always keep it in a pot because it can get out of control. But mint is beautiful in a refreshing drink in summer. I just come and break the leaves off so you can use it in cooking, and I find mint just looks good all year round. At the end of winter it can go a little shabby, so you can always cut that back. Now, I've actually had a beautiful privacy screen built. You can see here it's sort of one timber in and out, and that allows the breeze to actually flow through, and my builder suggested that, and I think it was just such a great idea. It slows the wind down, but it also allows the breeze to come through in summer. Now, I've got box pots as well, which I just like to throw lots of different things in. So I've got some little purple flowers, I've got box hedges, I've got a Japanese box, I've got some beautiful things, and I just like to mix things up in my garden because it just creates interest. Now, I've got a few hanging things that I'm kind of working on. These are just succulent hanging pots. There's so many things that you can find out there now. I've got little decorative butterflies hanging. You can add whatever you want to a space. It's a matter of putting your touch on it and just creating your own environment. Now, here you can see my tomatoes are at the end of their life. We had a frost the other day and it has killed off my tomato plant, but I'll actually pull that out in the next few weeks and I'll just put that into my compost. I have a compost up the back, which is a great idea to create as well. I still have some tomatoes to get off, as you can see there, so I'll get them off in the next few days, and I'll probably put another tree, a pittosporum or something like that in that big pot just to get through winter. Now, over here I had a sand pit which was not being used, and I had to come up with an idea of what I could do with it. So I decided to create a little bit of a mixture. Sand pits are tricky because you don't know what to really put in them. So I actually created this whole space here just for something different. I decided to do more of a Mediterranean look on this side with the olive tree. I couldn't quite decide which way to go. And on this side I did more of the sort of desert-like succulent sort of effect. So you've really got two different gardens in a very small space. Now I've put the stepping stones in because I got my builder to create these boxes and some shelves so I could put some funky little pots on. I love things like this with that are a little bit quirky. That's the fun of having a garden too, is to look out for little pots. You can also just have pots as decoration. Oop. You don't have to have plants in them all, because as I said, sometimes the little pots dry out. In these boxes I've actually had herbs most of the season, but they are dying off now. Like I said, there was a frost, so that was a bit tricky for me to. Next season I'll probably put more herbs in there, but they're great for little herb gardens. And so the shelves I actually designed to put pots on, but at the moment my cats have been actually using it as a ladder, so I don't actually put too many pots up there. I will put a few more. And over here, lastly, I'll just show you in this space, I have a little bit of a fairy garden. I'm actually in the middle of kind of doing this fairy garden up. I'm revamping it a little bit. I've put some pansies in. I've got to put some new plants in. Sometimes you do have to sort of re-energize your garden and give it a little bit of a facelift too. You can't just put things in and think everything's going to just survive, because like I said, I live in a climate where the conditions are very harsh and things do often die off. So like I said, annuals are great because it freshens up your garden and it gives it just a really nice look. And I personally really love box hedges. Box hedges, Japanese box, are one of my favourite plants, and they just grow all year round. They're evergreen, they're fantastic. So look for those things that are going to really, I've even got a little succulent in there, that are going to really just make your garden a bit fun as well. You can do whatever you want in your garden. You can be as creative as you like. So look, that's just a little bit of me sharing my garden today. I hope you got something out of that and try some different ideas and just get really creative and have fun with it. That's what gardening's about. It's about enjoying your space and just doing what feels right for you and just having fun with it all. So thanks for watching today. Hit the like button and I'll see you soon. Bye.